put together this video so we can get a good view of how we're gonna make this Gen AI work for our swaps project. So we'll take PDF files. We're gonna run a Python script, convert it to text, then do Gen AI to extract a summary of the text, another Gen AI call to get an HTML summary of the whole thing, put it into a SQL Server database. This will be another Python script. And then we will use a Power BI to actually show these three contents side by side. So now let's take a look at how the inputs and the outputs are going to look like. So we're going to get this PDF data. I have about 10 of those. I'm going to load all 10 in there. So the first one is this is what the data looks like. It's a weekly report sent by the Munster Police. Tells us what's going on in Munster. That's my town. Tells me things on the police blotter, which is interesting. Things that happen in Munster and what the you know, future plans for Munster. We will then run the Python script and extract the content of that. The content will look like this. So the PDF content will look like this. And then we will then summarize that content in our first Gen AI call, and it will look like this. Then we'll make a second Gen AI call and make the content looks like it's a formatted content. And we'll go through each one of them, how we do it using the Python scripts. Okay, now let's look at Gen AI. In this first example, we're just going to take the PDF file and extract the text out of it. This is not Gen AI, this is just straightforward. Here's my input, here's my output. I want to read it, load it, and throw it in there. And I showed you how that extract already looks like. This is Gen AI. We are going to import the appropriate libraries, and one of them are packages. One of them is from OpenAI. I'm going to say pick up my extract, right? This is what I did. And take that extract, use Gen AI to give me a summary of it, and put it right here. And this is it. This is all it does is it says read the input file, call the OpenAI summarization, and write it. Simple. This is all standard Python, nothing fancy here. This is this two-line of code that is Gen AI. And here I'm saying in plain English, you're a helpful assistant that summarizes long documents, which is the text file I'm sending it. And then this is your role, this is the content, and this is the command I'm asking you to do. Simple. It will then create it and put it in here. This is Gen AI. Very easy. This is formatting in an HTML format. Exact same thing we did earlier. We'll call it, we'll provide the role, what you want to do. Here I'm saying summarize that, but do it as an HTML for then I'm going to use it in Power BI. I mean, this is nuts that I can say simple things and it just does it. Here I'm giving you an example of I can format the way I want it to. So you're a professional. This is my commands I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it the format I want it to be. I'm hard coding some stuff, so I always want it to be that. But this is the variable now. Extract the report date. So it's going to come up with the date, correct date for each one. Then I say summarize it, list all the crimes. I can make it fancy, say do bullet point, whatever I want. Simple example here. Summarize all future parts of it. And then I say return HTML. Done. Now this is not Gen AI. This is just taking the PDF, the extract, summary, getting some metadata out of it, and loading it into SQL Server. One thing I forgot to show you here is the the temperature setting on there when I ask for a summary report. So the temperature setting means that this report can, the summarization that it does can be strict in a business format or it can get creative. The recommended for business is zero point 0.2, but the range is from 0 all the way up to 2.0. So if you go up to 2, it's like if you're doing brainstorming, it does really crazy stuff. It really doesn't help you a lot. So I've kept the standard at 2. The point is, if the users want us to get a little more creative or give them more verbose, we can work with the setting on this. Okay, so now we are on SQL Server. So after we loaded it, this is what the data is going to look like. So it's just, at the moment, it's just one table. I throw everything in there and I loaded 10 files. So you see 10 of them here. Uh, then these three, this is the metadata in there. And these three are your original text, the one summary, and the HTML summary. Now, I save all of HTML in there so I can easily then display it as a HTML file on Power BI so our users can then see all three side to side and it's easy for them to see what's going on. So I'll now show you. This is the Power BI service. And now the Power BI reports have been printed here. On the left, this is the original text that we extracted. Here's the summary of the text, and this is the report in an HTML format. Again, this can be any HTML format that they want. Titles can be anything, so we can have multiple layers. For our users, in my case, I'm just showing by some metadata, which for me is a file at the moment. But we could have entity, we could have anything. They can select more or less, and you can see now it's three of them. They can scroll through the reports, see what they mean. So if they want to look at any report, they can easily come here, take a look at the report, and they don't have to download the whole thing. Now, if they choose to download, they can download and we'll give them the ability to do that. The final piece I want to show you is what OpenAI looks like. So this is the OpenAI website where I set up my API keys. And in the API keys, for all the work I did to create this demo, load 10 files, run all the testing, it cost me $3. Nothing. Once it's ready, for every time we request something, it's like a penny. But it will cost me $3, and we're now just going to show it in PDF. There's no more cost to it. So $3 to do about 10 files. And I was still learning, so the true cost would be probably $1, not more than that. I just wanted to give you a quick review. So it's 83,000 tokens. That means I used about 80,000 words. So 750 words is equal to 1,000 tokens. That's how they calculate it. And it tells you, how many completions you had, how many requests you have. So it's just like a cool way of seeing how much this project cost me to do. These are all the tools I used. VS Code Editor, did some programming, use Azure on the cloud, SSMS for database, use Power BI, OpenAI tools. Then to build this video, I used the snipping tool and Clipchamp. And once it's all done, they all lived happily ever after.